Hello, my loves. Happy Monday. I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about the connection between Taurus and the root chakra and how really understanding the root chakra and your nervous system allows you to transcend and transform your patterns and become super authentic in who you are and just ascend so freaking quick as soon as you unlock the root. Because when we talk about the root, it is about fear, it is about survival, it is ancestral trauma, it can be handed down from generations, it is about that feeling of inner security and safety and support that you are developed as a child, right? It's your it's your sense of safety, right? Safety within yourself, self-intimacy with yourself, and your ability to feel faithful, trusting, self-accepting, and happy to be alive, right? And so really what it looks like when you have a solid root is you're really connected to yourself, right? You have self-intimacy. And this in Taurus really is about this, because Taurus is ruled by Venus. I always describe Taurus as Mother Earth, Gaia frequency, or really the Empress, right? She radiates fertile energy. She believes in positive outcomes and has unconditional love. And she really has an abundance of flourishing creative energy, as does the Earth, right? And the Empress can really, bring down her dreams from the ethereal realms and make things manifest through her physical body. And Taurus is super somatic, it is serene, it is sensual, it is secure. That's why literally touch and blankets and smell and anything that's activating your five senses is really regulating, right? Because it brings you back home into your body. And really the divine feminine flourishes in safety. And so what really gets a lot of women disconnected from their power is there's so many things that make us feel unsafe, or we weren't fully taught how to make ourselves feel safe as a child, or just in life in general. So if you operate from fear, if you operate from control patterns, if you aren't attracting emotionally available partners, right? You either operate from insecure or avoidant attachments, right? These are root chakra imbalances. If you have too much stress, if you suffer from anxiety, if you're an overthinker, if you try to control things with your mind, if you have ruminating thoughts and not necessarily a positive, healthy mindset, and you really have I want to call it a corrupt inner narrative, you have a harsh inner critic, these are all signals and symptoms that your root chakra needs work. And it's really it's anywhere that has you operating from survival, anywhere where you're too comfortable, also where you're too safe, because shadow side of Taurus is really immovable. It is stuck, it is stubborn, and it will just stay in the weeds. Even though there's a full rose bush and rose garden over here, it's I'm comfortable and I feel safe in the weeds. And so it's not necessarily willing to take active action to remove itself from its safety and comfort zone and to expand its horizons. And when we look at a tree, right? I always call Tauruses the trees, they're fixed earth. It really is about having the nourishing roots for you to grow and bloom and blossom. And trees they grow down before they grow up. And so it's breaking through that ground is an intense process to have the foundations for you to grow, bloom, and blossom, because when you're going underground, you're always pushing against resistance, right? And then when you grow above ground, there's no resistance. And that's why, flowers can bloom and blossom so quickly, but it takes so long for them to be able to, bear the fruit and have the flowers, right? And so that root chakra, as soon as it's safe, as soon as you have those roots and those foundations, you're able to bloom and blossom and flourish so much quicker. And the way that I like to always describe this, right? Taurus really is think about farmland. It is about reaping what you sow and tending to your garden, and really consistently with persistence and with commitment, tending to the soil. And, if you think about it, all of our, back in the day, our ancestors, so much of our livelihood was dependent on just creating food, right? And creating food and really those survivalistic instincts. And so when we had the invention of the refrigeration, which really didn't become household thing until the late 30s, early 40s, also the last time Uranus was in Taurus, right? Think about, that was 100 years ago, less than 100 years ago, which is crazy. And think about how fast society and technology has evolved since that invention, right? That's why we say the most abundant thing you can have is a full fridge, because it allows us to get out of survival mode of I need to go find the food, right? That is survival mode when you're always wondering where your next meal is going to come from. That is survival, right? And you're always just, all of your focus and all of your attention and all of your energy is on the next check, on the next meal. That is survival, right? And what happens when there was an invention, right? Aquarius. Electricity was invented with Pluto and Aquarius, and we have Pluto and Aquarius now, which allowed the path for refrigeration, right? Is think about how fast we can evolve, right? Since we healed the society's need to be constantly looking for food, right? Just by the invention of refrigeration. Oh, our creativity turns on, right? Businesses evolved, families evolved, so much has evolved, society's evolved, culture has evolved in less than 100 years, because that primal need for survival was eliminated, right? And I'm not saying, that's not to say there's not people who still live this way, but society as a whole has evolved so much since that need for survival was provided for. And that's the same with your body. As soon as you break through survival and you learn how to self-source your own safety, which means you can create safety on your own and really break through your patterns and your ways of thinking and your ways of operating and the ways of being, you can transcend so freaking fast. So freaking fast. And I will go out on a limb, and we can just look at 2020 to see where people's root chakras were at. Everyone was scared to even breathe the fucking air. People are not grounded in their root chakra, right? Because we have a society that is full of stress, of anxiety, of mental disorders, of all sorts of relationship patterning that's not good, which are all symptoms of a distorted root. And so too, you can look at your relationships. What do your intimate relationships look like? What does your financial situation look like, to show you where your root is? And are you also too dependent on those things to make you feel safe and secure? Because a true empowered person feels safe, period, and is not reliant on the external to reflect that back. But it's more of once my safety is internally sourced, then I can attract the emotional available partner. Then I can attract the job that brings me all of the abundance and overflow, right? And so when you can come back and you can come from this grounded place, you are really able to turn your divine feminine on. But if your feminine is so focused on survival, you're not going to prioritize creation and your play and your pleasure. And so when you know how to self-source this within your internally within yourself, and you can learn how to love and accept and trust yourself and have faith and trust that you are supported and that you are provided for, which is where the divine feminine thrives, right? Because the divine feminine, she, like the empress, right? She just like waves her scepter and the wheat grows. She's just like, we need some resources. I'm just gonna wave my wand and the wheat grows. And so when you can trust that you are the creator of your abundance, of your reality, you can literally birth an entirely new level and plane of creation and existence. And so, it's about connecting to your regenerative power and your beauty and your bounty, right? Think about Mother Earth. She's beautiful. She is bountiful. She is abundant. She is magnificent. She is replenishing. She has so much to give, so much beauty to give, right? She is so just divine in the way that she is created. And so this is what Uranus and Taurus is activating and awakening within you. It's having you to come back to your power, come back to your center, find your safety within, find your security within. And from that place, anything that operates from a place of lack, of negativity, of emotional unavailability, and of stress, of chaos, of confusion, of settling for crumbs, it all just melts away because you are not, when you are fully grounded, safe, secure, abundant in your energy, that stuff cannot find you because your energy field like literally just retracts it. It repels it. So everything in your former identity and reality, literally that was relating to from a place of codependency, from people pleasing, from trauma bonding, from fear, from inauthenticity, that just falls away. And your authenticity and your expression in your heart and you, open, and so you're able to access more feelings of love, of fulfillment, of happiness, of joy, and your intuition turns on, which that is the real magic. That is the real fucking game, because life just gets to be so fun when you're tapped and tuned in and your channel is connected. And then you then become such a powerful creator because you are the source. You are the plug. And it all starts with the root chakra. And so that's really what we're closing and clearing out with Uranus and Taurus. This month it will move into Gemini, July 9th. And so this month is about this embodiment and coming into your sovereignty as a woman, because from this place, when Uranus goes into Gemini, that is when all the fun is going to happen, because your ideas, your insights, your inspiration, your vision are going to be so fucking next level. And you're going to have the foundation in the root to be grounded in this creation energy that's coming. And if you're not, it's going to be the chaos energy that's coming, because trust me, Uranus and Gemini can create some fucking mental nutty chaos. And so, but we're building those embodied, grounded roots this month. And so there's a big integration energy. There's a big becoming energy. And you're never going to be the same on the other side of this work. You'll always know how to make yourself feel safe. Come back home to your heart, come back home to your body, develop a relationship with your body that is one of love, of trust, of I just like love my body so much. You always know what it's communicating and talking to, because your body is so freaking intuitive. And this is, you always know how to trust yourself and make grounded decisions and know what you're being guided to go do and take action on, because your body and your channel are telling you. So you then become, such a powerful creator from this place. So that's what we're guiding you through inside of the feminine frequency this month. So if you want to really take your life to the next level, shift your relationship with yourself, feel grounded and safe in your body, be happy to be alive, be free to express who you are, turn on your intuition, literally have a head to toe glow up, change your relationship with your body, develop self-love, self-trust, self-worthiness, upgrade your identity, which creates your reality, and really clear out everything that prevents you from being so powered in yourself, this is for you. I promise your life is never going to be the same on the other side of this work. So universe is asking you to rise and to embody this next level version of yourself. So inside, we're going to give you customized direction and support and energy healing, which makes the process so much faster and easier anyway. And we're just going to transform all of your stress, all of your anxiety into groundedness and abundance of all forms. So we start tonight. If you're interested, you can send me a DM, link in the bio, but it's 1:11. Okay, bye guys.